Everybody's talking about OpenClaw and how freaking amazing this thing is. But you need to know without proper security, it's gonna do way more bad than it's gonna do good for you. So in this video, we're going to go through the entire process of setting up OpenClaw, but not just setting it up through a proper secure way. We're gonna go through a 13-step professional's checklist with which you can ensure that your OpenClaw setup is going to be very secure. Let's get into it. So the guide we're going to follow is a guide that recently got really viral, and you can get this. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's from a person who is a ex-Cisco security engineer, so you can trust this without any second thought. So we're going to go through the entire setup in this video properly. The first thing you need is a machine to run it on. Please don't run it on your actual machine. It can do a lot of bad stuff. If anything goes wrong, you're gonna have a really bad time. So we don't want that happening. So we have two options here. You could either get a cloud VPS, or you could buy a Mac Mini or an old laptop. By the way, this Mac Mini thing, you don't really need it in the beginning, especially unless you have tried this thing properly and you are absolutely sure that your current use case, the work you're going to do on OpenClaw, needs a better machine. For that, yeah, you can go for that. But otherwise, a really old $50, $100 laptop you can find online is good enough. I wanted to mention that first. So now, for getting a VPS, a lot of options. You can go with whichever option you want. For me, I went with Hardening. I might add a link in the description where you can get a VPS from there, and that's what we're going to use in this video. So to create a VPS, first off, go sign up to their website, create your account, and then you can go to their console, and there you virtual private server. So we will be choosing regular performance, and here, based on your requirement, the specification you want to go with. For basic usage, this a 6 euro plan is more than enough. It's gonna get you done with all the basic kinds of stuff. But if you're a really heavy user, you should go for a better plan based on your exact usage. Then you can choose your location, choose the closest one to you, and then you can choose your operating system. You don't really need to change this. Ubuntu is perfectly fine, so you can go with that. You can scroll down, and here it's a really important step for security purpose. You need to add an SSH key here. So for that, you have to run one command, which, by the way, Johan is covering in later part of the tutorial, but we can do it in just one step, and we can skip all these 4 steps over here, and we can do it in just one step by running this command in your terminal. Open up your terminal and just press enter 3 more times, and your key is generated. And now enter this command. So it generated a key for us. Now you have to copy this key, and you have to paste it over here and set it as your default key. Add SSH key, and now that's actually it. We will be handling the other stuff after we SSH into our VPS from our terminal on the computer. So after this, you just click on create and buy now, and you'll have your VPS. So after creating, it will take like a minute or so, and it will create your VPS. You have to copy your public IP from here, and then open up your terminal and type in SSH root add and copy and paste in your IP key. Enter yes. Now you're logged into your VPS. Now starting with this first step, which is never run OpenClaw in root. Root is like the administrator of your virtual machine, and if your OpenClaw for some reason gets compromised, your root gets compromised, and the attacker owns everything, the entire machine, literally. So that's why it's really important we don't give OpenClaw the admin access at all, and it does not even need the admin access for any of the work we're going to do. Now we're gonna add in a new user called OpenClaw in our virtual machine. You can give it a new password. The password does not show over here. You can type it in again. Password updated successfully, changing the user information for OpenClaw. Enter the new name or press enter for the default. Let's just press enter. Room number, enter. Phone number, enter. Just click enter. Okay, adding user OpenClaw to group users. We have done this step now. Now give it permission to use sudo only when needed. We're gonna give it, we're gonna run this, then we're gonna run this, Now, as you can see, first we were on the root, and now we are on OpenClaw user. Okay, before installation, there is one really nice thing you could be doing, especially if you're using the 2 GB RAM virtual machine, which can sometimes get a bit less. So for that, you can actually add in 2 GB of swap memory. So yeah, let's do it. You can run these commands, and now if you run this, you can see that we have 2 GB of swap memory. It isn't as fast as the actual RAM memory, but it's still really useful at times when you're putting a bit more load than 2 GB itself. Anyways, now let's install OpenClaw. For that, you can go to OpenClaw's documentation and you can copy this command and you can run it here. Okay, the installation is done. I understand this is powerful and inherently risky. Continue. Yes, quick start. Now here you will choose your AI provider. So there are many options: OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Gemini. You have all these options here. Now based on the option you want to go with, or whatever you have available right now, you can use that model. And yes, don't use anti-gravity for Google, because Google is banning all the accounts that are using anti-gravity through OpenClaw or any other third-party way. And for OpenAI, Anthropic, and for Copilot as well, and probably some other options as well, there are multiple options where either you can authenticate using OAuth or you can authenticate using an API key. If you already have a subscription for OpenAI, you can use its subscription, sign in with that. If you have an API key, you can use an API key. Similarly goes for Anthropic as well, and probably a lot of these providers have these multiple options. And setup process for all of them is very similar, so you don't have to worry about whether I'm choosing this one and you're choosing some other one. Don't worry, the process is exactly the same. Choose the one you want to go with. For now, I'm just going to go with Versal AI Gateway API key. By the way, you do get $5 free credits from them, so it's a free way to try it out. For which you can go to Versal AI Gateway. You can generate an API key from here, create an API key. You can copy this key, doesn't really matter. Gonna paste it in here, press enter, and here you can choose the model, the one you want to use. With Versal, you get many options here. It's just like OpenRouter. They're literally doing the exact same thing. So let's go with Claude Sonnet 4.6 for now. And this is another thing where we have multiple options, and you have to choose the option that you actually prefer. If you're a person who would prefer Telegram, go with Telegram. If it's WhatsApp, use WhatsApp. Similarly, there are many other options as well. For now, I'm just gonna go with Telegram, and one reason why a lot of the people are going with Telegram is because it is the easiest to set up compared to all the other options. So for Telegram, the first thing you have to do is open it up and go to and search for bot filer, and then open it up. You have to create a new bot for your OpenClaw. Here you can click on create new bot. As you can see, I've created a lot of bots there. This is available, and you have to copy this token here and click enter over here, paste in the token over here. And do you want to configure your skills? Configure skills right now, it's not necessary. You can do it later on as well. I'm just going to do it no. I'm just going to use no for now. As for these, you can select these. These are some useful things that you should have for your OpenClaw setup. Now it's installing the gateway. Now we are done. You can hatch it in the TUI terminal user interface. Here you go. As you can see, it is working perfectly fine. Now let's move on to the next step, which is installing Tailscale. Okay, why do you need Tailscale? Tailscale creates a private network between your device. Your server becomes invisible to the entire internet. It's extremely important because of this reason. Only your approved devices can see it. It's like a secret tunnel that only you have the key to. So that's why it's one of the most important things to be doing on your OpenClaw setup. I'm just gonna copy these and run these commands. It's asking for the password we kept for our OpenClaw user. Let's enter that and starting to do the installation process. I'll be back when it's installed. Okay, it was actually really quick. Now we have to authenticate, for which you're just gonna copy this. And by the way, you do need a Tailscale account. You can sign up for it. I already have an account. I'm gonna sign in with that. By the way, you don't really have to pay for anything here. Gonna click on connect, and here you go. We have successfully set up Tailscale. It's a really important thing and it literally took us 2 minutes to set up. Yeah, next thing is you need to have Tailscale on your machine, your phone or your laptop, computer on which you will be accessing your OpenClaw. So you have to do that so that you will sign in the same account you sign up with over here so that you can easily use your device with it. Now one change we have to do is we have to update the openclaw.json file and change the mode to the Tailscale mode rather than the default mode. So for this, what you have to do is run this command. You should have added this in the guide, but no worries, we'll just do it here. So you have to go to gateway section. Here we go. And over here, we will change the auth mode to allow Tailscale true. We're gonna change this. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you do remove the comma from here. Otherwise it will cause error. So next, Control X, move Y, enter. And we are done with this step. This step, we have already done this while buying our VPS. Next thing is installing fail to ban. Why do you need fail to ban? So it monitors your SSH logs. So 3 wrong attempts from an IP will ban that IP for 24 hours automatically. So if someone's trying to hack you and get into your OpenClaw, after 3 wrong attempts of the SSH key, he will simply get banned for 24 hours. So for that, we're just gonna copy these and gonna run these commands. I'll be back when it's done. This was also very quick. Now we are moving on to the firewall with UFW step. So what we're doing here is we're closing every port that we don't need. If it's open, it can. If it's not open, it cannot be attacked. So that's why it's really useful. So I'm just gonna copy this and run this. Command may disrupt existing SSH connections first. You can press enter, you can press Y here, and we are done with this. Now next task is related to your Telegram setup. So for your OpenClaw Telegram connection, there are multiple ways. One is where you let your bot reply to all the messages it gets. So anyone that sends a message to your Telegram bot, it will respond to that message and take that into consideration. And then there's another method where you pair your Telegram bot with your own account. That way only you are allowed to use it. And then there's a third case as well where you can give it a list of user IDs, and then all of those users will have the permission to use your OpenClaw, talk to your OpenClaw. So we can go with the pairing mode for now. Let's actually test our bot as well. We haven't done that yet. I'm gonna click on open on the bot folder and over here. By the way, do know that if you're in a country where Telegram is banned for some reason, then you need to have your VPN on to be able to use Telegram properly. So this is the bot that we created. Now I'm gonna click on the ID over here and then we're gonna click on message. I'm gonna click on start. Okay, one thing that OpenClaw has already changed for Telegram is that they have already made the pairing mode the default mode. So you don't really have to do this step, it's already done for you. So ask the bot owner to approve with OpenClaw pairing approve Telegram this ID. Okay, so with this, by running this command, what will happen is that our OpenClaw Telegram bot, this YouTube bot, will get connected to will be paired to my own account that I've signed in with, so that only I can talk to this bot. So let's run this command. This is actually really good. They have made it a lot easier. Before you had to do this manually. Okay, so when it's done, it will show you that that your Telegram sender is approved. Now if we send it a message, you will see that it is typing and it is working. There's this one extremely important point that is not mentioned anywhere in the guide, and without it, literally everything will break once you install Tailscale. Previously, your gateway was running locally on your virtual machine without Tailscale, and now it's supposed to run through Tailscale serve, and that is something that's not happening. So to fix that, first of all, you have to run this command. And done. Okay, then you have to run OpenClaw gateway stop, and then you will run OpenClaw gateway -- Tailscale serve %, and then it will start running your gateway. Now, if you use your terminal interface of OpenClaw or web interface, or you use Telegram or any other messaging platform, it will work perfectly fine. First thing you do is make sure your DM policy is pairing. I think OpenClaw has made this the default now, so it's by default as pairing. Another thing that you have to decide is whether you want it to work in groups or not, or you just want it to be working when you send it a message directly and you don't want it to work or respond to messages in a group chat. So for that, you can select the group policy over here. You can disable it just like this person did. Other than that, you have to make sure you have added this tail scale mode serve, reset on exit, false. That's pretty much it. Moving on to the next work. Take this prompt, security audit prompt, and give it to our bot, and it does the security audit for us. Do know that some of the things we haven't actually done yet, and it will tell us that, okay, these things are not done yet. And for doing those things, you would literally have to go back and forth with it, make it do the things, and for some of the things it will ask you to run a few commands in the terminal. It won't be like anything difficult here. It will be really straightforward. Just to keep it a bit fast and for this video to not get extremely long, I will be skipping that part, but we will still run this prompt, and you can see that it is going to do a proper audit of our OpenClaw instance on our virtual machine. Yep, just like this says, your bot will check everything and give you a report, fix whatever it flags, and then run it again. As you can see, we have the audit here. By the way, just a small tip, whenever you are moving to a different topic, you want a new chat, fresh chat, you can simply run reset and it will start a new chat for you. And here, the next step here is to set up real-time alerts. This is a really good one where we will configure OpenClaw to notify us whenever something unusual happens. So failed login attempts, configuration changes, new SSH connections, you'll know immediately that something is wrong. So we will add security rules to the sol.md. This is like the main file where how your OpenClaw will work and act and all will be configured over here. So we can simply, one way is we simply open up the file and edit it ourselves and add it ourselves. We can do that as well really easily. Otherwise, you can just ask OpenClaw in your Telegram that we can even verify that it has added it by, as you can see the file path over here, you're going to open up the same file. Here you go. Right now it's the default sol.md with just a small security monitoring changes. As you go ahead and use your OpenClaw, there will be a lot of changes, customization based on how you would actually want it to act and do work and everything. Now it's asking us that want me to set up a daily security check cron job too, which is part of this prompt actually. So yes, we would want it to do that. So it runs a daily cron job. Cron job is something that is a scheduled task, programmatic scheduled task, where it will we can run a task every hour, every 15 minutes, every day, every 2 days, etc. So that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to create a cron job for the security audit, for this security monitoring. Moving on to the next step. This is something we have already talked about. Next is sandbox your sub-agent in Docker. By the way, the security audit we did above, some of the things that it mentioned as problematic included this point as well. So we're going to get it fixed now. So just for your understanding, sandbox or sub-agent in Docker, what does that even mean? So the thing is, we create like a box, a sandbox where a sub-agent is going to run. Now, if for any reason it messes up, it just destroys the entire thing, what happens is all the destruction it does will happen within that box it created, OpenClaw created for that sub-agent, so that the rest of the OpenClaw or anything else on the virtual machine will never get affected. So only that box that it created for that sub-agent is at risk at maximum. So that's how it's going to work. Start running this command. This will install Docker, which is what we use for this sandboxing. Okay, so Docker is already installed. Okay, on my virtual machine it was already installed. I don't know why is that the case, but in case your virtual machine does not have it, you can run these commands. But this command is something we will still have to run. So you're going to run this command. It will ask you for the password. Now you have logged out and you're back in your root user. Now you're gonna go back to your OpenClaw user. It feels like this, I'm teaching like a Linux class, Ubuntu class over here. Okay, we are back in our OpenClaw user. Now we have to configure sandbox settings. For that we will so for this configuration of the sandbox setting, we will have to open our OpenClaw.json file. So we're gonna copy this and paste this snippet in. So we are done with this. Make sure you add the comma at end over here. And we are done with this. Now you can press Ctrl X, Y, and enter. Now the file has been saved. One thing to note here is that we have multiple options here for the workspace access level that we want to give. None would mean the most secure one, where the sub-agent cannot see any of your files. Use this for untrusted tasks like browsing the web. That's a really important point here. RO is read-only and RW is read-write. And it's very self-explanatory. So you can use read-only for research tasks, read-write for building websites or any coding work or anything where you would need changes to be done to your files. Now, understanding network options, none would mean no internet access, most secure. If you're going to run a task that should not have internet access, you can do that. Bridge would mean you have internet access given to your sub-agent, which is required for tasks like installing packages, cloning repositories, pushing to repositories, all the dev-related tasks. Now, this is something we actually did it before as well, that you can set up a daily security audit cron job. You can just simply copy this and run it over here, and it will run the security audit every day at 9 a.m. for you. Another small thing is that keep your OpenClaw up to date, because they are pushing changes literally every single day almost. So all you have to do for checking the version is running OpenClaw -version. Let's just actually run it. As you can see, it is 25th of February 2026 and today is 28th. If we run this command, it will install the latest version. But there's one very important thing that I know a lot of people will still not do, but sometimes there are breaking changes. If you don't know what that is, some changes in the new version of OpenClaw might have breaking changes where it might cause problems to the existing settings. So that is why you shouldn't just blindly update the package. Ideally, you should go over the changelog and check stuff over there. But another thing you can do is you can ask OpenClaw to run weekly version check and then also check the changelog of the new version as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And one thing you could be doing is you can copy this prompt and give ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, this link, and then it will guide you through the entire process, essentially what I'm doing in the video. But because I've already done it for you, don't really need this prompt. And I would recommend going through the troubleshooting section as well. If you face some problem or anything, you should run this. By the way, running OpenClaw Doctor is like OpenClaw checking if there's any problem in the health check sort of thing for OpenClaw to check if there's something not working properly. So that can also find some problems for you. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you found this video really helpful. I tried my best to go through everything and make sure everything is explained properly. And before we close the video, one important thing, if you want to avoid all this work, you want someone to be doing all this work for you, setting up OpenClaw. And another very important thing is figuring out how exactly should I be using OpenClaw for my work, my use cases and all. Because especially non-technical people might find it a bit difficult to understand and think how exactly they should be utilizing this technology. And if you're one of those who would want help with that, creating a proper roadmap based on your work, your business, and we want someone to set it up for you, the complete thing, you can book an introductory call with me, and link is in the description below. We can figure all these things out and can proceed with doing all the work for you if that's something we agree with. And if there's any other video idea you want me to cover for OpenClaw or anything else, let me know in the comments section down below. See you guys in the next one.